Hello everyone, welcome back to Ukraine Peninsula Zombie Apocalypse. We are at the bottom of the Iliath Canyon here, just a short way from Quillrabe. Let's go and see what's there. Here on the right side is the elevator up to the Forgotten Mesa. Donkey, where are you going? Donkey, no! Where's Donkey? Oh, what's happening? There's a fight going on inside. Let's help out. Yeah, it seems they just broke through the barriers when we arrived. Well, hello there, living Droog. Am I glad to see you? This guard can be talked to. If you're thinking about taking a stroll along the banks of the Iliath, keep an eye out for an ambush. The zombies out in the bush aren't anywhere near so tame as the Droog in Quillrabe. Yeah, this is basically the conversation of the original Dwarven Legionnaire guard here. Also, other conversations have been adapted to the new occasion. Nice to meet you, Master Aurelian. Well, here's a high-level equipment store. I will come back to you. There's something down there, outside the gate. I'll go back and have a look. Horrell, Lambert, Chandra Tarth. These zombies bear the names of the originally human and dwarven inhabitants of Quillrabe. And the mini-boss back there is Vitrean Priest Fertile. Rest in peace. Now, whom do we have here? On the left side is Shaman Drevenius, the mage shop. All characters here give directions to Heroth, like on the original map. You would be nuts to go to Heroth. It's not far from here, but it's the lair of the Reaper. You'll want to exit town via the upper stairs to the west. Follow the torches until you meet up with the road in Quillrabe Canyons. Then head south until you reach the Drake Nest Cave. If you can sneak past the Dragon Queen and her drakes, you should be able to find your way. Keep to the south and east walls when you come to the split. The nest exits into Heroth Ravine, which is just outside of Heroth proper. Follow the river and you will see the putrid Lake Heroth ahead with the haunted ruins of the town around its banks. Heroth, the lair of the Reaper. Well, that doesn't sound encouraging. Now let's talk to the other person here. This is Utrean apprentice Nanook. You are looking at the last survivor of the Utrean Historical Society and the Azanite priesthood on the Utrean Peninsula. Priest Fertile had just taken me in as his apprentice when High Priest Kavaran summoned him. I saw Fertile die when we... Oh, the horror of that fateful night! Ever since the Queen had died in Heroth, things were getting worse in the kingdom. Kavaran had long pushed for the unification of the Circle, but as the situation in Heroth was deteriorating and the townstones remained lost, he summoned Priest Fertile and Priest Quillrabe of Graskal for one last desperate attempt to resurrect the Queen. Fertile took me with him to Heroth. In their hurry, something must have gone terribly wrong. Maybe it was some ancient Utrean magic interfering with their own. The Utreans were known to meddle in otherworldly realms. When Kavaran had cast the final spell, there was a flash of pale green light, and Death himself stood right before us. As we stood petrified, he devoured the Queen's corpse, then turned to us. He killed Kavaran with a single blow of his scythe. We all ran for our lives, but the priests had already been poisoned. I had been standing a bit further away. Fertile fell to the undead when he arrived back in Quillrabe. We threw him down from the southern walls, and in a regrettable frenzy, my Droog brothers threw down the other humans as well. This was the night the undead horde swept across the peninsula. It took them less than a week to conquer the former kingdom. I saw it all in my visions. You can slay zombies and skeletons. They will rise again as long as the Reaper resides in Castle Heroth. Only when he is banished back into his own realm will this nightmare end. But that is a thing of impossibility. We are living on borrowed time. The Droog have lived on this peninsula since the time of the ancient Utreans, but even Quillrabe cannot withstand the constant onslaught of the undead for much longer. Go confront the Reaper if your heart tells you to. In the end, we will all join his ranks one way or another. What hope is there left? How can man challenge death? This peninsula is drenched in ancient Utrean magic we never understood. Kavaran's hope was to learn more about it or even control it by solving the puzzle the Utreans left, completing the circle of the 8 townstones. Doing so might grant you power over the Reaper. It might as well unleash yet another demon. Arguably it can't get much worse than now. Do what you think is right. The Quillrabe townstone. Oh, that one is in possession of the Dragon Queen, I'm afraid. Well, thank you, Utrean apprentice Nanook. The last part was a bad idea, but we got some really important information here. And a quest update. Find and banish the Reaper in Castle Heroth. Well, now at least we know what we're up against, and it's nothing less than death itself. Oh, by the way, Nanook, you're not the only survivor of the Utrean priesthood, you know? I'm rather enjoying my new job as a hero though, so we'll sort it out later. In this place we also find 2 lore books. the ancient history of the Ukrainian Peninsula and the modern history of the Ukrainian Peninsula. These two books were compiled by historian Lily Prieve of Meran, while she was still among the living, of course. Ancient history of the Ukrainian Peninsula. This is an account of the history of the Ukrainian Peninsula as collected by the Historical Society. The name of the peninsula comes from the race of the ancient Ukrainians who settled in these lands many centuries ago. Those were the great wizards of antiquity, unsurpassed to this day. Their empire was the most powerful of all of Arana, even stronger than the much larger Empire of Stars. They have built many of their magical mechanisms here, many of which work to this day. Whither they have gone, or why, no one knows. But at the end of the First Age, as the Empire of Stars collapsed, so did the Ukrainian Empire, and all of its knowledge was lost. The Ukrainians were the greatest inhabitants of this peninsula in ancient times, but they were not the first. Pyramids far out in the endless dunes reportedly tell of an older, prehistoric civilization, and those who claim to have visited the mythical Eastern Island tell of statues of giant stone heads there. The latter may have been an early settlement of sea elves, but nobody knows. Whatever peoples lived here first, they probably had already vanished when the Ukrainians arrived. The Ukrainians were known for befriending and cooperating with other races. Their civilization attracted peoples from far and wide. Droog from Ebb founded the town of Quillrabe, which exists to this day. Dwarfs from the Green Range began digging into the sides of the Iliath Canyon, in a place the earliest sources call Crystal Wind. And goblins from even farther away settled here as well, attracted by the possibilities for exchange of goods and knowledge. Their first settlement in the Redwood Gap today serving only as a cautionary tale. When the Ukrainians left, wars broke out among the remaining peoples, and the peninsula fell into decline and oblivion, becoming a backcountry of Arana for centuries. Modern history of the Ukrainian Peninsula. With the arrival of the legions, a new chapter of the Ukrainian Peninsula began. Soldiers of 2nd and 10th Legions arrived here in order to create a state similar to the Kingdom of Ebb with its monarchy and capital in the castle of Heroth. The kingdom consisted of 8 constituencies. 1. Heroth in the southwest, where the greatest Ukrainian ruins had been found, soon became the designated place for the seat of government, and an imposing castle was built on a defensible cliffside. 2. Eldim in the northern center was the principality of Lord Howard. 3. Falrain was established to control the snowy mountains of the southern center. 4. Meran, at the only navigable shore of the peninsula, was founded as a port in high hopes of international trade and traffic. It serves currently as a seaside resort. 5. Legion dwarfs settled again in the abandoned mines of Crystwind. 6. The Droog of Quillrabe were not keen on joining the new kingdom, and to this day the official wording is sovereign in free association, and what exactly that means is anyone's guess. 7. The goblins were even less keen on joining the kingdom, and after a short war, the outpost of Lang was established to ensure the rules of the non-aggression pact. And 8. Lastly, Grascal, a small oasis at the edge of the endless dunes, became its own constituency simply because it was too far away to be practically governed by any other place. Carlin, a popular commander of the 2nd Legion and renowned explorer of the Iliath River, and cousin of Lord Howard, was crowned as the first king of Heroth. He ascended the throne as a young man and ruled the kingdom wisely to his old age. Both his sons fell victim to attacks. Many suspect they were assassinated by Lord Howard, who hoped to ascend the throne if King Carlin had no direct heir. But nothing could ever be proven. But when King Carlin was dying, and the Legion understood that a King Howard would not be popular, They decided to hold a referendum to allow for female heirs to the throne, which the subjects overwhelmingly voted in favor for. And so came to pass that Alma, granddaughter of King Carlin, was crowned as Queen of Heroth. Like her grandfather, she was bound to the kingdom by the priesthood's most powerful spells, some of ancient Utrean origin, which ensured the kingdom's prosperity under her reign. I, historian Lily Prieve, was born after Her Majesty's coronation and have seen the kingdom flourish in my youth. Now the queen is dead, and the lands have fallen into ruin. Krug are ravaging the country, beasts and monsters roam the wildernesses, bandits rule the cloud forest, and witches lurk in the Langmire. I fear for the future of this land. I pray the priesthood will be successful in their attempts to resurrect the queen, and by the powers of the coronation spells the kingdom will thrive again. These lore books are based on official game lore, but are of course extended by own lore for this map. Like for example, the kingdom here on the Utrean Peninsula originally did not have any name. Now here it was given the name of the Kingdom of Heroth. And also the mentioned coronation spells provide a somewhat more technical explanation for why the entire kingdom is deteriorating just because the queen died. Without such an explanation, this interrelation between queen and country seems a bit monarchistic, I guess. Anyway, let's go shopping. Nice, I got 2 new ranger armors. Now let's visit Aurelion. Okay, new sword, new crossbows, fireball and 2 new mage armors. Life is good when you have 8 million gold. Alright, I will end this episode upstairs with Dravenius and Nanook. So, thanks for watching today and see you in the next episode. Bye bye!